You can hear that the truck is running much smoother, but it's still not 100%. The biggest issue that still needs to be addressed is the fuel pump. To move the truck, I put a catch can on the fuel pump vent, but that's more than a stopgap measure than anything else. I either need a new fuel pump or I need to rebuild that one. Also, you may notice that it doesn't sound right. It seems to idle very fast. Both problems are due to the carburetor needing adjustment. There are three major points of adjustment on the carburetor. The first is the choke, which really shouldn't need to be adjusted unless you live in a place with extreme temperatures. The second are the screws that control the rate of fuel flow into the jets of the carburetor and therefore into the engine. The third is the idle set screw, which sets how far open the throttle is at idle and therefore the idle RPM. The carburetor was adjusted for its previous gummed up status, but when I cleaned it out with carbon choke cleaner this time, it made it so that those settings were no longer right. Basically, because the plumbing is now clear, it's running rich and bogging down at a low RPM. Rather than adjust the fuel rate, I temporarily increased the idle RPM because I didn't have time to properly adjust the carburetor, and this was a stopgap measure so that I could put the truck away before my vacation was over. The next time I start the truck, I need to let it run up to temperature, then I need to turn down the idle RPM and lean it out a bit to get it idling properly. It is important not to tune the carburetor when the engine is cold, because it will behave differently when it's warm and you want it to run the best when it is warm. The last thing I need to do before I'll be able to drive the truck long distances is actually fix the brakes. Yes, I still have not actually fixed the brakes. I have narrowed the problem down to probably being bad wheel cylinders, probably on the front axle, so I just have to replace those, and once that's done, the truck should be back up and running better than it was before.